So guys, I welcome you all in the fourth day of FDP first session, that is on quality writing research for academic publishing. Whenever writing comes, definitely the research, definitely the article, definitely the write-up, many words you can add about this. So writing, many people they do, but who do quality? Quality is at the upper position. Quality is taken the top seat in every area. Quality, total quality management. Quality is preferred by any industry, any academic society, any academic body, fraternity, like this. So quality is at the top, right? So quality writing, some people say in general terms, writing for academic publishing, but I believe this writing, many people they do, but how many people go with the quality writing, right? So quality writing research for academic publishing, it is one of the very interesting area, guys. Whenever academic things comes, research, patent, publications, many things come into picture, right? And we need to publish, we should publish. And if you see the global perspective, not in India, global perspective, India is, yes, it is. I love, and we should love and we should proud. Recently, we celebrated the, Republic Day also, right? But don't you think that we should give the maximum weightage to the quality? We should focus, as we have discussing since last 3 days. Today is the fourth day, right? So publishing is very much important. It is an essential exercise. Industry people also do publish. They publish their article in their own journal. They have their own society. Sometimes they are publishing with these, top-rated publishers, the Springer, Taylor and Francis. These are the name comes Wiley. So they are from inception. Wiley is they are from inception, like 1800 and so, maybe 1404. So academic is not like that. They started publishing in the very early years. People have started in 14th century also. People were publishing. You can go to the university website and you'll find which are the methods. So academic publishing is a very interesting area, guys. Let me clear you one thing. It will give you the comfort, it will give you the appreciation, it will give you the many things which you have never thought of it, isn't it? So that is the idea behind that as far as your is this concerned. Okay. So let's see how it will all about. So first slide, a powerful slide. I'm sure you will appreciate about this first slide, isn't it? So be an effective communicator. We are communicator. As a researcher, we are the communicator because we are communicating our research scholarly practices to the society, to the world. So your goal is not only to publish, but also to be widely read in your field. Your paper will be preferred. You may have good readers. Maybe today you have very less readers. Who knows that your academic research practice is published. So our goal is, your goal is not only to publish whatever is published like Indian Journal of Society or maybe some other, bogus and predatory journal, but also to be widely read. Widely means globally accepted in your field, whatever field you are, maybe from science, engineering, technology, management, social sciences. If you go to the very niche areas, plant science, biological, tissue culture science, niche areas, these are the sub areas, but very much important, right? So in order to be an effective communicator, we need three things. One is the logical manuscript structure. Please pay attention on the words. I will ask you in the exam also. It is not a manuscript, it is a logical manuscript structure, efficient publication strategy, successful journal submission. So these three things are required in academic publishing. So what is the idea? Let me take one by one. First is the logical manuscript structure. As we are talking about, you have to prepare the title, abstract, introduction, literature, and everything. If you are doing well, it is fantastic. You are doing a great job. So in that sense, we can say that your logical manuscript structure is great. Then after once the paper is ready, manuscript is ready, then you have to go and search the best journals in your field, efficient publication strategy, what you have to follow, which journal you need to submit your paper, like that. Then once you have, suppose you have found out your targeted journal means good journal. I mean to say good journal means authentic journal, not the predictive. Okay, so please mind it. Don't misinterpret it. So efficient publication strategies to find the exact journals related to my research paper. It is coming under the scope of the journal, and probably you have some notion that okay, that they are going to definitely they should accept my journal paper. And definitely, so some strategy you have made, efficient publication. So I will comment on this. Excuse me. So in that area. And the last one is successful journal submission. Means suppose one your journal is targeted or maybe a couple of journals targeted, then you can go with this one. So you have to look at from various angles, various aspects, maybe age of the journal, as we have already discussed this part. The age is one factor. Second is the brand, which brand you are going. Third is what is the key structure you are considering, like in the form of keywords. Suppose you are belongs to social sciences, political. In social science, political science is a subject. So you should target the political science. Some journals are interdisciplinary in nature also. So they invite science, management, social sciences, political sciences, like that. I've just given you the example to understand this context, right? So it is really important. So once these three factors are done, executed well, then you can say that. So here communicator is researcher basically, but we are communicating our paper. So in that sense, we are a communicator. So we have to be a effective communicator. And my goal is not to publish, okay, only I like this, I'm publishing, I like the writing. No, I want to enroll so that my article will be read by my area first, then the other areas. Because reading is no binding, whether you are a less qualified, whether you are a high qualified. Reading is not binding, covering that. Many people, millions of people, they read and go through the newspaper early in the morning when they are rushing to the office. You take the example of Mumbai. Mumbai, whenever any employees goes and travel in these local trains, I have seen 90% of the people are carrying the newspaper in their hand, because whenever they travel from one location to the other, they generally use so that, okay, what is happening. So reading is a very good habit and we should inculcate, we should practice. Rather, we will encourage our colleagues, peers, group, even to our kids at family or in family members, that they should read something, a good piece of information that should be readable. Okay, so these are the three parts as a researcher, and we should respect these things. Logical manuscript is a very important slide, guys. Please note down, because you can say it is the summary of my last 3 days discussion, which I'm going to make. So that's why I mapped these things here, not the first one, because now you have understood 3 days talks are successfully completed and given the maximum idea. So everything will cover in this presentation, okay, in bits and pieces, so that you have. So it's a quick recap. Suppose any session you have missed by chance. So this is a one capsule covering all 3 days discussion in this presentation. So logical manuscripts are of two types. One is the introduction method and another is the result discussion. But in research paper, these are not two types. It is 4 questions. 4 questions. So 2 questions per type, 2 questions per type. Right. So your readers have 4 questions generally, because we have to see from the reader's point of view what I'm writing, isn't it? Because writing is a style. Tomorrow, I think we have the session on, tomorrow I will emphasize on how to write, which section you have to think. That is really important. So let's take the questions one by one. So first is the guy's introduction. Why did you do the study? Why did you do the study? That is the question. So that should cover in introduction. I've already given some idea how to write introduction. So I think you can better link with that discussion. Method is what did you do in that case? Method, what did you do? So method covers everything, like which method, this method is best than over the other method. Somebody has done that analysis by using X method, but you are doing with the Y method, like that. Okay, or you are adding some mathematical concepts in your research. Maybe mathematical is the best, statistics is the best example. which you can including in the sector, isn't it? So that is the idea. Now the third one is result. What did you find? What did you find? So result should cater and comprises of your findings, whatever the findings are there. And the last one is the discussion. How does the study advance the field? Like in discussion, you have to assimilate, you link that paper results, your research paper to the advancement of the field, whatever the field you are working. So you have to think these 4 key questions from the reader's point of view as a researcher. So that is academic publishing first step, that you have understood what did you do the study, what is the method you do and enroll, what are the findings you have captured through your research and methods, and what you discuss linking the advancement of the field. So if these 4 categories, you can say these are the 4 pillars, 4 key questions of your manuscript. And we can say that finally it is a logical manuscript. It is not like that discussion will come at the introduction will be at the last. Means interlinking, cross-linking is not allowed. It is prohibited. First you go, so it is known as IMRD model. IMRD model, please note down: introduction, methods, result, and discussion. You will never forget it. IMRD model. Please follow this IMRD model if you want to establish and publish a good paper, establish in the good area of your research. Good area means, again, your escalation in your knowledge. You will be known in your areas, field, not India, but globally. So you should have that vision in your mind. So I hope you have understood this IMRD model. So this is a model, IMRD. I stands for introduction, M stands for method, R stands for result, T stands for discussion. So your readers have these 4 questions from you. So that's why it has been written there, be an effective communicator, because we are writing for my readers. This is my knowledge, guys. And I want to share, and publication is the medium. So I want to communicate my message to the society at large, in my field, maybe another field like this. So this is really important. I hope this is clear to everyone. Now let's understand how to write, what are the things, what are the components required in introduction. Okay, so why does your study needs to be done? So that is a question. So you can see here, introduce the topic. As I've already given, so this is the summary. Now today I'm covering all the session in this academic publishing. Introduce the topic. In the introduction of the topic, you just in and around write worldwide regional relevance related to your topic. Then you can add some broad specialization audience. Okay, what kind of stuff you are looking for, and you are writing some area as far as the introduction is concerned. Now, second part of the introduction deals with what is known about the topic, how the people are known about. So it means up-to-date studies. Like say, I have given you the example earlier also. Last or latest studies, 5 years latest studies in your area. Cite broadly worldwide, means globally. You can cite well in the introduction, you can cite well in the literature review, like this. So what is known about the topic, that is the part of introduction. A mid stage of the introduction, mid stage, please remember. And the last stage is what is not known. What is not known in that area, what you are pursuing that research. So clear description of the problem is required in this stage. Use certain keywords like however, nevertheless, like this. These kind of words, you can go with these keywords. What is not known? If this is not clear, then you can think for. So again, it is a funnel approach. And after this, what is not known, then you go and talk about the specific aims. So this is the sequence starting from introduction, the topic, what is not known about the topic, what is not known, then specific aims. And if specific aim is not clear, suppose, because you are the reader, you are the writer also, and you are the reader also, because after writing in your manuscript and introduction, whatever the section you are writing, you just go through. And if the things are not clear to you, how you can expect that other people will understand? That is the simplest question. You can ask this simplest question from yourself. The specific aim, if it is not clear, then again you go, and so this arrow signifies you just go not to here, but to what is not known. So for this not known, here the creativity of the researcher is required. In general, if you see, everything is aware about the people know that, okay, what is happening, how you have cited like this. So this section is very much important for you. So as I have given you earlier also, the strategy from the broader sense to that. So it is a funnel approach, broader sense to the coming to the aims, specific aims. It is not like that, sir, this is my aim and the research and directly you conclude. You can do that also, but once you are experienced researcher, you have published some paper, you know the writing style. So sometimes these steps are already in your mind in the form of sequence. So you can write well, you can read well, you can explain well. But if you are a beginner, follow the dissection of the introduction in this way. Introduce the topic, what is known about the topic, what is not known about the topic. Let's talk about the method, M component. What did you do? So researcher in your field, add some information about, reproduce your findings, build on your research area. Peer reviewers generally go for evaluate your study design, validate your results. So what did you do? So in methods generally use what people have done, what analysis, what technology, what statistics they have used. You are using the same, or you can think for other statistical measures also, depending upon your suitability, depending upon your deep interest, your knowledge base, whatnot. As I've mentioned, these days nobody is using in the research paper SPSS 28 function, and that contains too many, mathematical advances, but people are not aware. If the people are aware, they do not know how to do that analysis. But suppose they are able to do some analysis, results are come. Now they are not able to how to interpret these results, isn't it? So in every stage, if you see, challenges there, isn't it? So research, doing a research is not a easy exercise, but if you are committed, but you have to be committed because your profession is teaching, your profession is research, and it will go for 35 years, 40 years, 50 years also maybe. I wish to the God that you will live long life and you will be a good, creator, because we teachers have so much responsibility of quality education, isn't it? We should not name the quality, but we should perform with the quality. We should give the true experience to our audiences in the quality basis. So that is the idea. So what same case also applies in the research paper. So methods are important, introduction is important, results are important, and discussions are also important. So this area contains reproduction of your findings, building the arguments on your research. Peer reviewers is dealing with the evaluation of your study design, because any research design, any study design, that is your idea of creation. So that's why people are more concentrated on study design. If you go in any interview, people will ask you, okay, because they know the sequence, they have also published, they know, they have fair idea. They will ask you certainly the direct question, may I see your study design? Means what is the flow, that design, what is the flow, how you have conducted your research, whether you followed the simplest approach, whether you followed the complex approach in making this interesting. So peer reviewers generally do, and you can inquire from them, you can ask them, you can seek help from them, and you can do that. And the last section is validate your result. Validate your results means you cross-check, re-examine, ensure that whether your results are up to the line, whether your results are not up to the line, or do you want to change it at this stage? Because after one, you will not be again coming to this section of methods. So you want to show, so what did you do? Those things come into the picture of umbrella of methods. Method flow, how to make the methods. What do you need to know? So it is also bifurcated in 3 sections. Who, what was used in the study, like maybe samples or participants, maybe the materials, how you conducted the study, methodology and techniques, discuss specific conditions and control, like this. How you analyzed your data, that is important. Okay. Quantification, method, software, like statistical test, consult a statistician, because statistics is not a every man's cup of tea, right? You may be a good statistician, you may be a good researcher in writing, but not aware about the statistical tests. So in that case, you are allowed to go and consult a statistician for your subject, isn't it? So they will help you to understand. So here 3 sections you need to remember: who, what was used in the study, maybe the sample, maybe the material, maybe the raw material, maybe anything else. Second is how you conducted the study. Means what methodology we have used, what techniques you have used, what was the specific discussions you have written, or link your arguments with the meaningful results, or maybe the some other arguments published by someone, isn't it? And the third is how you analyzed your data. It's analysis of your data. That certainly contains a method. Suppose you are doing some analysis by Gretel software, but somebody is doing the analysis of economics from EVUs. Okay, because different softwares are available. Man is the greatest creation. Man mind is the greatest creation of the universe. So now people have made the software. You see, what is the beauty of research? People have made these softwares for every area. So I generally sometimes feel that we are blessed people, because we are using these softwares for our research, so that we can be more stronger. But we should wisely use these methods like this. So quantification method software, statistical test, consult a statistician in the some special cases as well. So guys, I will take up the question at the last. So please do not raise your hands, otherwise it is very difficult to cover up. Okay, I have many things to do. Maybe your queries will be answered during the session. Okay, so please hold on your queries. You can write in the chat window. I'm happy to answer at the last. Okay. So guys, suppose this is the method flow. Suppose you have written well your methods, then you have to give the result in this way. So this is the section of results where you are talking about some experiments, some discussion obtained about the data, then summarizing some key findings like this. And you are putting the result in the form of bar graph, line chart like this. And so result section is dealing with and generally, these days softwares are generating these results just ready-made. You can just copy and paste from the softwares, and you can write the interpretation of those results. So these days, generation of the result is not a very good or big deal. It is very easy. You can just go to software depending upon your contexts. You can contact your supervisor, you can contact your research team, or you can contact the experts also of that area. Maybe they will tell you much more about that. Okay, which software is meant for what this software does, like this. So once these results will come, and these results will be click of mouse, guys, in these software. You have imported the data, everything you have done, you have picked and choose the different statistical measures, then you can export the result, and you make this thing. So this slide will give your readers through your findings. Okay, as far as the logical manuscript structure is concerned. So this is the third stage, results. Okay, IMRD model, IMRD model. Introduction, methods, and this is the third one is results. And results are generally published in this way. So one figure at a time, generally people make sense, and you can describe that. Now come to the last section of the logical manuscript structure is discussion. D stands for discussion. So how your study contributes to the field. Because now this is the stage, this is the last stage of your manuscript where you need to summarize everything what you have done or did. Okay. So begin with the research problem, briefly describe the study design here, and summarize the key findings also. Once you are done with the first section of your discussion, then come to an interpreter finding also a little bit, because major findings I've already interpreted in the result section. But here little bit you can bring those things in a different way, different words are required. Okay. So interpreter findings, similarities and differences, unexpected or negative results, and limitations. So it is really important for the interpretation of the finding a little bit in the section of discussion, but make sure that it should not be repetitive. It should not be repetitive. Don't come to me and I say, sir, you told us in this, so I have done this. No. Maximum interpretation is already done in the section of results, because that was the place where the results, methodology, everything was there. So it is discussed. But in discussion, you have to link, you have to map your discussion with the result. So that we are talking about that thing. Okay. So similarities and differences, unexpected and negative. Generally, you should go with the negative results. I will come to you in this session only. You publish negative results. Many people, they publish positive results, but it is by recommendation. If you publish negative results, you are increasing the chances of your selection of the journals, this research paper. And you can also write in this space limitations, because limitation is also very important area, because many people, they skip this part. Many people, I think you have also skipped many times. If not done, it is okay. I appreciate that. But if you are doing unknowingly or knowingly, it is a serious concern. So limitation is a very important thing, because what you have not done, okay, what are the things which has not been covered. Even limitation is also a different chapter in the PhD thesis, a MPhil thesis, dissertations also. So limitation, we should write and interpret my finding, what you have not done, because of maybe some issues, you were facing some problems. So your problems may be the limitation, is you were trying to do, but because of certain reason, because of your circumstances, you could not done well. So whatever you have not done well based on, so those are known as limitation, which you may be possibly done in future. Okay. So in that way, you have to see and decide as far as the contribution is concerned in the discussion. And the last point is, guys, why important to the field? Why important to the field? Main conclusion and implications. So if you see, so this you can easily understand from this triangle. Here is the one point, isn't it? One result, suppose you have taken. Maybe let's take X results, suppose you in research. So now you have to explain the X in this way, and you have to make the broader spectrum. So this is, you can see, it is the opposite of this one, introduction. Like we were starting from the broad perspective to the aim, isn't it? But in the discussion, it is opposite triangle. Okay. So you are going with the first point, maybe first point of discussion, and increasing in this way. So it is known as implication. I told you, if you can remember my earlier two sessions, first day two sessions, I talked about there is a implication is very much important, because it is showing the impact, it is showing the many things, in your area. So you have to build up the horizon from one result which you have received in the form of discussion, because summarize what you did actually. So begin with the research problem, briefly describe study design, summarize key findings. A little bit, not fully, little bit, because these things are already done, isn't it? So you pick and choose whatever the area you are working related to the context. Then you can slowly, build up the argument, and that argument interrupts. And this entire exercise is known as implication. And a good manuscript these days, implication is must, that you have to read that. And implication is a described in some of the cases, in some of the general cases, I should say. It is not a separate column, but sometime in many journals we have seen that and experienced that implications are a different one. Means implication we should write after the discussion. That is also there. This discussion means you have just connected, taking some results, idea, and then you are making. So, but implication is something different than the discussion. In some of the journals I have seen, implications are now the fourth stage. Like after the discussion, implication should be. But majority of the cases, implication is a part of discussion. How your study contributes to the field. I hope you have understood this IMRD model as far as the logical manuscript structure is concerned. So logically think your ideas, guys. So we are moving ahead, guys. Okay. So ask the 4 key questions for your readers in this way. So you can see again, it is a, glass hour, I hope you have seen this in the computer, glass hour. If you put anything, slowly it goes. If you make the, turn around, then you will see the same flow. So this is just a shape of glass hour. So answer these 4 key questions for your readers, guys. Why this study needs to be done, initial stage, what you do, what you found, and how your study will advance the field. So this is what is the logical sequencing? You introduce the topic, you just involve some currently published studies, you involve the problems in the field, then you talk about the objectives, then you mention the methodology. After the methodology, then you can go to the results and figures like this. Then you can go for the summary of the finding, then you can go for the interpretation of the finding, then you can go for the implication for the field. And these 3 things are connected, interconnected, like problem to the objective and objective to the resultant discussion, because you can't change, you have no liberty to change and make. I have seen many studies, people are, mismatched. They have written in a mismatched manner because methodology is also repeating in the objective is reflecting in the results like this, So it is not a place where you can make and create in some, interlinking. Rather, you should go with problem, objective, methodology, and resultant figures. Now everything is a sequence. I think it is a structure of the paper. Okay. Then once you have written implications for that field, and again, as I have mentioned in this implication that you've written and followed these 3 sections, and you are done with your application, then you can reconfirm with your problem statement. Because this was the first problem statement, that so it should also be linked with the problem interval. Because otherwise what happened, this is X, but X has to be linked with the main X, X1, X2, X3, X4, X5. Like that. I'm just giving and taking the example of a mathematical expression so that you can better link. But here, suppose this was a big X and this is a X1, X2, X3. So we have to see it is to be with the X, not with the Y, not with any like methodology, not with the result, not with the summary interpretation. So I hope you have understood. So answer these 4 key questions for your reader in this way. So these are the 4 questions: why this study needs to be done, what you did, what you found, how your study will advance the field. So in this way you can see. So this is known as logically link your ideas throughout your manuscript. So this is the template, you can say, that we need to follow for quality research publications, academic publishing. So logically linking your ideas in this way. Every place is fixed. You can't have the liberty to change it. Introduction of the topic, currently published studies, problem, objective, methodology, results, summary, interpretation, implication. Okay. I hope you have understood. Titles. Now come to the titles. I think we have already discussed titles. So what should include, what should not to include, what should avoid? This is the place. So we are going to discuss in this section titles. Get your reader's attention. Because if your title is not great, then it is very difficult to get the attention of your readers. So what should include? What's important? Keywords for indexing, conciseness, less than 20 words. So that is the 20 words. But I told you characters also, isn't it? Characters, they are defined. What should avoid? Question you should avoid. Describing methodology in the title you should avoid. Abbreviation you should avoid. Cancel, cancel, cancel. This is right. What's important? Right. Keywords for indexing, right. Conciseness, right. And it should be less than 20 words. Okay. So in this way, if you see by and large, the title gets your reader attention. If you do, so you select the left side and reject the right side. Okay. So your title should be a concise summary of what's most important is. Okay. So this is really important for you to rework. If your title is too lengthy, make it short, make it precise without changing the meaning of that title. So in this way, you need some creativity. You can consult some experts. Then probably these people, they help you. Come to the abstract. First impression of your paper, isn't it? I think we have dedicated 1 or 2 sessions on abstract and title. So title is the first impression. Then again, abstract is also the first impression of your paper. Aims, results, and conclusion. Aims contains importance of your topic. Results contains your significance of your study. And conclusion is meeting with the relevance of your study. So in this way, we can say that you have the clarity of your writing. We can say that and conclude that clarity of your writing means you know What is importance, what is significance, what is relevance. But at times we see in our research scholar, even the faculties also, they sometimes interlinked also, like importance is place of the relevance, means they are not well versed with the quantification of these three steps: importance, significance, and relevance. Relevance should not come in the first place, significance will not come at the last place, importance will not come in the mid place. Every place is dedicated. So importance, significance, and relevance, same case here also, ARC, aims, results, and conclusion. That is the first impression that we should know. Abstract, since it is a good first impression, what do your readers want to know from you? Isn't it? So please ask these questions from yourself. So the first question in this is, why did the study need to be done? So answer, you have to answer in this way, introduce the topic in the topic. So first question is answer. Second question is, what did you do? Once you have written the methodology, once you have outlined your aims, everything is specified, then that part is also over. So left sides are the questions, right side are the answers. What did you find? Go to the key results of your research. Job done, you are well interpreted, you brought these results from the software, because these softwares are facilitating the researchers to make a very good correction, because if you do manually, it is very difficult for you. So years are required to complete it, but through software, even in one day, even in 5-10 minutes, you just get the result of your research. If your data is conditionally, if your data is ready. Okay, so that is the third stage. What did you find? Key results are there. And the last question, guys, is how study will advance the field. So it is really important to understand the advancement of my study. So the answer to this question is conclusion and introduction. I told you. So this is again in the form of abstraction. And what do your readers want to do? You want to make a good impression, write the structure in this way, abstract. Efficient publishing strategy. As we are discussing academic publishing, quality academic publishing with a special interest to research. So it is really important at our end to follow some publication goals, some publication strategy. Many people are just blindly submitting their papers. I think we have already talked about. And now we will talk about what? Efficient publication strategy. The efficient publication plan, in which way, in under what condition we have to. So what are the publication goals? Publish quickly and have impact in the field. Quickly means very fast. But generally it is not happening. Right? Generally it is not happening with the branded publishers. But our intention should be clear. Publish quickly and have impact in the field. So choose the most appropriate journal. I think I have already commented and discussed. Then after this one, communicate study relevance also. So this is the one important message to all of you is follow the efficient publication strategy. If your paper is ready, everything, and you want to publish quickly, and why quickly? Because somebody in this world is doing exactly thinking about you. So suppose his or her paper will come first in your area, similarly, exactly, what will happen? Then probably you will not get the attention. Definitely. You will be the second one, you could be the 10th one in that series. Because generally we have seen that in this universe, many people think in the same way. Many people write the paper in that way. So it is very easy for the people, those who are, in this, scenario. So it depends. So that's why publication quickly is very much important. Because if your paper gets selected, you will get the entire credit. If somebody in the world is publishing exactly or better than you, I think the person or gentleman or the other scholars, the academicians and such as, they will take that particular thing. So under those conditions, choose the most appropriate genre. And just like in quiz, you have to select the most appropriate answer for the test to qualify with the scores, high scores. Okay. Same case also here. So as we are talking about the selection of the appropriate journal, so is this journal the highest impact factor? Not necessarily. I think I've already commented yesterday that there are many journals you will see, they do not have and they are not participating in this, war of impact factor journals. Not necessarily. Okay. Answer is not necessary. So it is the journal that will best reach your targets audience and maximize your impact in the field. here is the formula, guys. So yesterday I promised you to bring the formula of impact factor so you can see how to calculate the impact factor of 2018. So number of the times that all items published in that journal in 2 years, the previous 2 years, in 2016 and 2017, were cited by the index publication during 2018. Because whatever the data is being asked in the current year. So impact factor calculation select the previous 2 years, okay, divided by the total number of citable items published by that journal in the previous years only, not in this year. So impact factor of 2018 is being calculated, maybe 22, suppose today we are entered already in this new year 2022. So whosoever journal is calculating their impact factor, so they will consider the previous 2 years, means 2020 and 2021 for their calculation to collect the impact factor. So selection is very much important, but not every journal has the highest impact factor. There are certain journals also which are very good, but so it is also not the criteria, guys. So it is the journal will be reached to their target audience to the maximum, and you can easily create the impact in your area or the field, whatever you can call. I hope you guys are with me. If you are there, then it is okay. Thank you. Where are the findings relevant? So we will see that whether I want to publish and I want to make my audience at global level, then you can think for worldwide. Choose an international journal to reach a worldwide audience, right? Yesterday I have demonstrated that you can pick and choose, international journals from the authentic list. You can use the checker also, and many things you can do. Locally, suppose you want to publish your local, because it's your choice. Nobody will ask you to go and publish. Many people, they do and locally publish. Choose your regional journals to reach a local audience. As you can, here you can take the example of predatory, because mostly journals which are being circulated at local level, they are predatory, means they have no system, isn't it? So try to restrict to publishing locally and switch over to the worldwide. So you just migrate from locally to worldwide. Because if locally will not be there, because these local publications, regional journals are not giving you any weightage at all. Even if somebody is giving the weightage, you can write to them and request them, sir, ma'am, please do not consider it. It is very difficult and there is nothing I will get out of that. Even you will not get the best readership in the world. So restrict local publication, excuse me, and switch to the worldwide, okay? So where are the findings relevant? So it depends. Your field, certainly choose a specialized journal to reach readers in your field. Your and other fields are also necessary, where you have to choose the broad focused areas journals to reach readers across the discipline. So in this way, you have to select the appropriate journal in order to have the, as far as the considerations are concerned. So it is really, focus is required, where you need to, you select the specialized. Specialized, please pay attention on this one. Some peculiar, specific, specialized journal. You don't want to compromise within XYZ or ABCD journals. ABCD means any XYZ, any journal. You have to be very much specific. If you want to do and publish in some operation research area, so you should go and select that journal. That is belongs to your field, isn't it? Why you are going to the interdisciplinary journals? So it is really important to understand for whom are these findings relevant. And you are a scholar of operations management area, but you are publishing in XYZ journals. It is not a good way to publish. Okay, better to go in your area and find the relevance. If you are going to do a broad focused journals and you want to increase the readership, definitely you can do that also. So it's your choice, but preference generally people will get if you are publishing in your area. Okay? That is the biggest beauty for this. How much accessibility do you need? How much accessibility means how many people have the access to your research? So this is one important thing. I think we have already discussed in a detail. Subscription based. only academics with access to the journal can read your article, because those whosoever they are subscribing your articles through libraries, they only get but other common men, they will not have the access. But open access is a category where everybody has the choice to download, publish, and everything. So freely available to everyone worldwide. Open access means open word itself is open. There is no cost is associated, because open access journals are taking the cost for APC from the authors only. And open access have the higher reach than the in terms of readership like this, because open access is freely available in the market. So it is really important for everyone to highlight the area, your research, your publications, your publication metrics like this. So what are the benefits of open access? Please understand. Fulfill funder or institutional mandates. So because you are fulfilling their requirements, you are fulfilling their institutional mandates also from time to time. So that is the biggest benefit of open access, because you are increasing the size of the readers, right? Increase the accessibility to your findings worldwide, globally. Because if something is open, so anybody can download the paper from Germany, maybe some Middle East, maybe some other Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic, right? Anyone. And even a common man also can download the paper and they can read and they can take benefit from your research. Third point is increase the number of downloads of your article. So it is really important for you to understand, because open access journals generally, because if anything is free, people freely download and read. Whether they will use it or not use it, it's a different story, isn't it? So incremental downloads, if you want to increase, you want to go name and fame across the world, open access is the medium. It allows you to retain the copyright to your work. Open access journals also allows you to retain the copyright to your work, because they will keep, because nobody will publish, because it comes under the domain of open access, which is freely available for anyone. Open access journal published quickly online, because open access generally promote or majorly promote like PDFs of your they make the paper on PDF, and PDF is available for anyone to download. So they published quickly in this way, because they will not go for hard printing and all. Even these days, if you see, by and large, most of the reputed journal also, they are not going for the print publication. When I was a scholar at that point in time, many companies, many great publishers, they were sending the print edition journals, published papers to the authors in the libraries also. But these days, because of the promotion, because environmentally, from sustainability point of view, we should discourage paper wastage because of environmental threat and all. So now most of the companies, they are making e-copies. So they are sending the e-copy, they have taken the copyright like that. So in that way also, publication quickly online is very become easier, because once your everything is okay, then they upload your paper or an entire issue of your journal over the website. And the last point, guys, is fewer restrictions are there on excuse me, fewer restrictions on word and figure limits also. Fewer restriction means they will not go you with this understanding. As many rules and regulations are there in the authenticated journal. Yesterday we have talked about, there are so many things they will ask that, okay, this font, this line, this comma, this semicolon, like this. Like word limit is also there, abstract limit is also there, right? And here you can see fewer restrictions, very less restrictions are there on word and figure limits, and you can publish open. Open is open, and other one is the non-open. Non-open is subscribed word. So non-open journals are generally irregular issues, but open access, most of the companies, they are having this category also, open access. Not all open access journals are good, but there is another story. another side of this picture, not one open access are good. How to identify a trustworthy journal based on this? Go for the reputed publisher like I've already named, Springer, Nature, Elsewhere, Emerald, PLOS, and etc. You go to the editorial board, international and familiarization. You can go and find them, cross-check them, trustworthy journals. You can go for indexing by common databases, as I told you. Common databases are Scopus. Maximum, journals are covered in Scopus databases, and maximum journals are also covered in WOS, Web of Science. Okay. Emerald is another database, and EBSCO is an integrator. Yesterday I told you EBSCO is an integrator. They are taking the services from HBR. They are taking the services from XYZ. Excuse me. Like EBSCO, there is another, database, ProQuest. ProQuest is also not very much efficient. What I see, ProQuest deal with the like thesis and all, thesis and dissertation. So it depends upon which database you are concerned with. Okay. Authors, do you recognize the author? Because you need to think. It's a question mark. Okay. Fee, if fee is there, or maximum fee, only paid after acceptance, because they will ask you after the acceptance, okay, pay for this. So how to identify a trustworthy journal in this way? But all open access journals are not good in practice as far as the academic publishing circles. I think I've already covered this part yesterday. Think, check, and submit. You can go to the website www.thinkchecksubmit.org. So this particular website will help you to select the right journal for your research. And yesterday I've given the demonstration also. And you take the name for that journal. You can again go to the particular journal and find the other rules, ethical rules, the way you submit, what are the checklist is required, then you can easily submit. So think, check, and submit. This is a website. You should follow like this. So only submit to a journal if you can answer yes to all these questions. So some questions are there, then only you submit in this particular website. Maybe one example I'm taking from the Springer. In Springer, if you go, if you need any help to find a journal, Springer is also supplying, giving the some facility to the researchers as a general suggester. So the name they have chosen is general suggester. It is not a general matcher, because every company, I told you yesterday, every company has their own marketing name, or maybe you can say a group name. Some people say general suggester, some people say general finder, some people say finder. Okay, like this. So sometimes other companies also, they can use this general suggester because they are suggesting it. And they have 2,500 journals also with them. So I've just taken the example of Springer. So what did you do? Yesterday, I have already demonstrated this. Again, I'm just telling you if you have missed a session anyhow. So manuscript title and keywords, and manuscript some text in the form of like abstract. And then you give some this information, required information, and then search the particular journal will suggest you. Okay, what is the best journal suitable in their domain? Successful journal submission is another interesting point. Make the best first impression for journal editors also, because if your paper is going to the editor, certainly your paper is going to the chief editor or editor of that journal. So if you want to impress it, and you should impress also through your dialogue, through your research paper. So make the best first impression for your journal editors also after successful journal submissions. So you write cover letter, add cover letter. Initially, when I'm talking about the last 5-10 years, a cover letter was not a mandatory part. It was a choice. But now every good reputed journals, they are asking for cover letter also. Okay, so please make right cover letter. Significance and relevance of the study. You understand, because you have to make some impression to the journal editor. Suitable to be published by their journal. That is for sure, because they are dealing with, they will help you and they will select you. And then you at last ask these two questions: interesting to their readers, clear and concise writing style is there. If it is yes, then you can say that you are on the right track and you are a part of successful journal submission, isn't it? Otherwise, if you will not answer these questions, then it means your general submission is not successful. Even you forgot to add cover letter, you forgot to many other things which was required according to the rules of the general submission of the paper. So you maybe have not a good impression on the editor, and editor take the very strong decision also in research publishing, and they can send back your manuscript to you. No, I'm not interested to take this because of XYZ reasons. So like this. So it is better to go for the interesting to their readers, understand their interest. Your writing will be concise, clear, avoid paragraph, reparagraphing, reiteration, because sometimes what happens, researchers generally write the same thing in a different language. So overlapping of the content, overlapping of the context is also prohibited. It is not encouraged to do so. Okay, that is cover letter. I think you must be having some questions at what should cover letter comprises of, right? So what to include at one page: introduce your manuscript, manuscript title and article title. Why study is important. Give some brief background in your cover letter like this. And guys, one thing interestingly, I hope you appreciate this. Cover letter is a space. Cover letter is a space. Please listen carefully. Where you can making a dialogue with the editor. Because there is no other section, if you see, because you can't write all these things in your research paper, certainly. But cover letter is the medium. You write well, you want to communicate what is this research is all about, why I am coming, why I've chosen your journal. So it is very interesting area. Make use of this. I have seen many people, they are not using cover letter. They just will say, okay, I don't want, why should I? Because many general, in many journals, you will find that cover letter is not a mandatory requirement. Cover letter is required preferably, but it is not mandatory. But some journals, they have mandatory means you have to put the PDF or the Word file of the cover letter for sure. So guys, it is a very good medium to make a establishment of the, it is a free space where you can communicate with the editor. And it is very interesting exercise also. Okay. If you want to publish early, how this study is special, whether you have done any significant job, whether you have taken any help from some organization, maybe you're a funding agency, because many research papers are based on funding agencies also. So you just give some due remark in the form of acknowledgement through cover letter. Okay, sir, I have received grant from ICSR, UGC, and this research is a product of that project. So likewise, so they will prefer it. Somebody has given you the money, maybe 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs project, and my research paper is the outcome of that, isn't it? So cover letter is a very important medium, I should say, and you can briefly communicate. Again, the logical sequence, same logical sequence, just like manuscript title, type, article type, whether it is empirical paper, whether it is a review paper, whether it is a research note. Research note is also another category, guys, recently added in most of the good journals. Like this. So what you found, study design, one or two key findings you can add in the cover letter. Why suitable for the journal? You just give some brief conclusion also. Sir, I was going through with your journals. I found that it is more interesting, and there was a call for papers. Call for paper also. I've decided to submit my manuscript to you for the consideration. Hope for the best. If there are any anomalies, please let me know. I will rectify like it. So you can write some, but please use polite words. Don't make any sarcastic comment, because that is also your writing. That is your reflection. I generally consider people, if you write well, you are you are using the education for your life also. But if you do not write well, like email, like cover letter, then probably you may be educated, you may be doctorate, but you are not using it. So for the educated people, you are not getting any attention. You will be ignored. Let me give you the direct answer. You will be ignored. You may be sovereign in your way, but people will ignore you, certainly for and sure. So that's why it is important for you to understand and show some interest to the readership also, like this particular piece of research will help the readers to gain their attention. They will use in this society. They will encourage other people also because of, you know, readership chain. And if any issues are there, please let me know. So I give us some additional information, include, exclude reviewers, because these days, you know, most of the journals are asking reviewer also, reviewer details. Sometimes they will send it, sometimes they will not send it, because these days these journals are also collecting the data in this form, because if they want to increase the database of the reviewers, and so you are helping them. So it depends upon the editorial team or the editor to whom they assign. Sometimes they assign the paper to your given reviewers. Sometimes they will assign the anonymous reviewer where no name is given to you, means author is not aware about that, okay, to whom it has been sent for the reviews. Okay, and follow some publication ethics also. There also you can write something to the editor in the cover letter. Sir, I have followed the ethical norms also as per the COPE, COPE guidelines. You can also add one or two lines like this. So one or two line like this. So in this way, 1.5 page cover letter is required. So before the submission of your paper over the website of the journal, appropriate journal, I mean to say appropriate journal, you should ready with your cover letters first. So that is really important for you to understand about the importance of cover letter. I'm sure you guys are with me. So whatever I'm just sharing with you guys, these are essential things. We should follow it. You should. Publication ethics. So in your cover letter, you clearly highlight these issues also and understand what is the importance. Original and unpublished. So write this also. This is an original manuscript and it has not been submitted elsewhere for the publication, because you are giving the consent to the editor through cover letter. Otherwise, sometimes they have the apprehension that, okay, whether this manuscript is submitted somewhere, because at times, many times, you know, people submit the same manuscript at 3-4 places, maybe 5 places, which is not also a good strategy. Otherwise, if you will be caught by these people, they will ban you, they will remove your email ID. So you will get the punishment in that way. It is okay. And your reputation will also be hampered in that way, because they will announce, they will highlight, maybe in some forum, maybe some professional meeting like this. Not submitted to the other journals. Authors agree to a paper journal like this. We all authors, maybe like say, let's take the example. Suppose in one paper, there are 5 authors. So in the cover letter, you should also write that this is a joint, authentication. There is no conflict of interest between us, between like authors, and we have decided and we are saying that agreement to you. Please consider this manuscript for the publication. Like that. Add some source of finding. I think I've already given you this idea. If somebody has given you the grants or something to carry forward that research, and this research paper manuscript is a byproduct of that particular project, then you please mention the source of funding also there. And then on author's contribution also ethically, like who has contributed more. You can brief this. You can make cover letter of 2-3 pages also. There is no restriction, but these points should be covered as far as the publication ethics are concerned. Okay, in our cover letter should include all these 6 dimensions to make a beautiful cover letter. It is very difficult to convince the general editor manuscript is suitable, isn't it? So you can see in picture, it is just a representation. Okay, so editor is occupied with many papers lying on the table. So convince general editor manuscript is suitable if you follow this publication ethics, follow the cover letter. Okay, so it is really important to go for the cover letter and make use of this. Peer review is a positive process. Some participant was asking, sir, what is peer review? I said all papers are peer reviewed, papers, but we need to look at how much it is there. So peer review is a positive process. We should know first. And here you can see in the picture. So some author is coming and running on the road, And here you can see various people are standing there. So most scientists regarded the new streamlined peer-reviewed process a quite an improvement. So in that way, so you can see people are ready. He may be a first reviewer, he may be a second reviewer like this. So whenever the paper goes to this, they will make the dissection, they will cut your paper. So this is just a representation. Once you are done and go through with this road and cross these people, then your paper will be accepted. You can see the board here at the end of the road, right? So what is the idea? Whenever you submit the paper through a machine, this dashboard of the journals, suitable journals, then the paper will go to various reviewers, and based on the reviewer's remark, then the paper will be accepted. So experts give advice on how to improve your study and your manuscript. So in that case, peer review is a very important exercise. It's a very positive process because they want to help you. They want to encourage you to rework on that paper and resubmit in our journal or in other journals also. You are free to choose. Okay, there is no binding at all. Second point is ensure only relevant studies are published, because relevant means related to the scope of the journal, related to the number of quality, because sometimes only editor have to publish 6 papers, but 20 papers have been received of the same quality. So what they do, guys, they will again prioritize out of these 20 manuscript, which are the top 6 manuscript, isn't it? It does not mean that your paper is bogus, your paper is not publishable, or your paper has some other mistakes, right? So relevant studies are published. Relevant could be based on the quality content, could be based on the preference and choices in the language, maybe the dimension, maybe the focus, and you can add many things over there. Peer review helps to advance the field also, because it will increase in the quality and advancement in the field. Okay, somebody is coming with some guidelines. Maybe some research has been using some sophisticated machines like this. So it could be the machine. So peer review helps the advancement in the particular field. Okay. This is the journey of your manuscript. Understand how because many people ask me, sir, how this cycle works and why there is a delay of acceptance of the paper and review on the paper. So here you can see, guys, submit your manuscript. You start from the left, okay? Please understand. So you are author. Your intention means you have chosen the correct article, correct journal for your manuscript. Now your job is to submit the article or your manuscript to the journal, okay? So it is now reaching to the editor. If you meet the basic requirements, it is okay. Then your paper will be sent to the assign the reviewer. Means the editor will assign the reviewers. Maybe he or she has the power to send your paper at 10 different places, assign to 10 reviewers. Generally, editors they do, because they believe that maybe 2-3 reviewers are not ready to accept it. So they generally send parallelly to the many people. Whosoever 3-4 reviewers promptly reply, suppose review the paper, promptly reply to the editor back in, like, let's take the example of 15 days, 20 days. So now the reviewers' comments have been received and it will be communicated by the editor to the authors to improve. Okay, this is the paper and R1, R2. R1, R2 means revision 1, revision 2, R2, revision 3, maybe like that. So if it is yes, so once they assign the reviewer, it will be go for the evaluation and recommendation, and after this assess the comments. And based on the assessment of the comments, make the decision for the acceptance. So this is one cycle, guys. This is this. You can see the flow of the mouse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the path generally follow. So the time consumed in this stage, because suppose editor has not looked your manuscript, it is in the queue, or there may be a big queue. So they have not seen your manuscript. If they have seen the manuscript, so sometimes they themselves, because editor is the powerful person to take the decision without the assignment of the reviewer. Okay. because because editor is also well versed that about the terms and condition, and ultimately he or she has to take the decision of the final selections, right? So sometimes you have seen that maximum time, editor desk reject because you are not meeting or they are not free. You can add n number of examples, conditions. So this is, guys, one cycle. And sorry, one thing I forgot to mention here. So editor decided, okay, what is the basis, and time also consumed by the assigning the reviewer, because editor has assigned the reviewer, and reviewer is taking too much time. Reviewer is not free. He has or she has accepted the manuscript. So generally what they do, guys, editors send the reminder to the reviewer also. Your manuscript review is pending. Even I am also the reviewer to many reputed journals. So generally, they send the reminder a week before, because whenever your manuscript review is due, they will remind you a week before. And suppose you are free, then you are writing. If you are busy, suppose, then it is the reviewer's responsibility to inform them. So what I do, I generally send the once there is a delay or I'm occupied somewhere, so I generally inform them, okay, by this time I will complete it, the review of the paper, isn't it? So in this way, so editor is informed, so editor will not send you the reminder like this. So maximum your time gone in this section, for which generally you are curious, because generally researchers are not patientful. Suppose you have submitted today one manuscript, so within 2-3 days you are expecting, and then you have decided to send an email to the editor also. Please do not do that. In 1 week time, please do not send a reminder mail to the editor, because editor is not free. Editor is a busy person. Like your manuscript, many thousands of manuscripts have been received by the editor, isn't it? So you are in queue. You just wait for your queue. Just like, whenever we see the medical doctor, we take and book the appointment, So doctor is busy to look at the patient number 1, isn't it? Then the patient number 2. The persons who are sitting at the reception, what they do? Sir, please wait. The doctor is busy. There is one more patient is there, isn't it? Like this. So please don't be anxious too much whenever you are submitting. If 2-3 months have been passed or 6 months have been passed, then a polite email is required from the author to the editor. Okay, sir, there is a one pending. It is showing the same status. So I'm just curious to know what is the status of my manuscript. So sometimes it is our duty also to remind. Otherwise, everything is based on the software basis. So this is one condition order. But suppose you are not meeting the basic requirement, no, then what is happening? It will be rejected, or you have been asked to revise the manuscript. So this flow diagram will come to here. It will not go to the green. And then revision is given to you. Then again, you have to submit the same way with the same account, R1, R2, R3. Please remember revision 1, revision 2, revision 3. Like this. So this is the journey of your manuscript as far as. So you are at this stage. Editor is this stage. Reviewer's job is to evaluate and recommend the paper. Then they will. Otherwise, editor himself or herself also take the decision to send back the manuscript to no directly. And it will go to the revision section. If not, otherwise it will be stopped here. Now come to the writing a response letter. Suppose some revision has been given to you. So clearly discuss all of your revisions, guys. This is also very important exercise which I'm adding in the academic publishing. So generally, what are the common mistakes people do? Only state the revisions have been done, not what the revisions were. Only they state that this line, only state the revisions have been done. They only write this line, sentence, but not what the revisions were. So if you are doing so, the advice is simple. Clearly discuss all of your revisions. Suppose they have given some points, bullet points. You answer the bullet point number 1, means 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3. So in this way, but don't write just blindly, okay, revisions have been done. So you have to give the response letter. You have to write everything very categorically, clearly, explicitly to make the response letter. So general editors are very busy, as I told you. They are very busy because they are doing their own job, whereas they are, going through your manuscript, taking the decision, and they are receiving too many, lakhs of, thousands of, manuscripts per month, maybe quarterly, maybe fortnightly. It depends. Okay, so make revisions easy to review. So if you make the response letter in a very categorical way, point by point, everything you have answered well, then you are just increasing the size of your chances of your acceptance. So briefly state what was revised. Always refer to the page and line number also. Also, you can write in this response letter, line number 4 is this, like in this way. And the text has been updated. So in manuscript, highlight the revised text also, like what new information, what new text you have added in your research paper. I'm sure it is clear. It is a basic one, but very important. So what are the general editors looking for generally? So this also may be the questions from your side, sir. What is the area they are looking for? Means editors, reputed editors. Okay. So do you agree or disagree? Again, the 3 questions are in front of you. So first question, let's take the first questions first. Do you agree or disagree? So the further question in the form of answer is this a question. Why do you agree and disagree? So you need to categorically define it in your response letter. Means reply letter. This is required where you have given and assigned the revision. Okay. Support disagreement with the evidence. Suppose you are not listening, you are not convinced with that editor or reviewer has given this one. Please add some evidence. So support disagreement with the evidence means proof. You can attach some proof also. Sir, please look at this guideline. It has been written there. So I've adapted from this, or I have understood from this area. Then, because this is the place where you have to convince the editor that, sir, these points I accepted, these points I never accepted. So if you want to showcase your disagreement, isn't it? So support the disagreement with the evidence. So in this way, you can solve the first question. Do you agree or disagree? What revisions were done? What you have done? State new experiment. Okay, sir, I have conducted the exercise in my research from this machine or that software, but now I have also done the same thing in a different experiment, the latest software which is available in the market. I'm just giving the example just for to understand this concept. So state new experiment techniques or whatever you are using. How revise the text and figures. So that is also a part of this, because there may be a change in the text, there may be change in the figure, there may be change in the tables also, there may be change in the entire analysis also. Okay, so means you have to rework the entire thing, but in very minimalistic way. That is important. The third point is, where can revision be found? Most interesting question. Where can revision be found? Page and line number also, guys. Many people, they do not know. They are very poor in this area. They forget always the page number. They always forget the line number also. So please do that, because editor is looking for these things. Because I told you in the very clear categorical line, you yourself are increasing the chances not to accept your manuscript by someone. Who is the someone? Your unknown editor, or maybe the editor of your most appropriate area. Update figure number also, that is also required as far as the response letter is concerned. So be an effective communicator, guys. Logical manuscript, effective publication strategy, successful journal submission. Because in this way, if you follow, you will increase your chances of publication as far as the creation of the impact is concerned. So guys, what is the time? I'm sure I have done the so guys, thank you very much. So I've done with the academic publications part, though there are other more sections too, but we need to understand. So let me close my session here only. If some queries are there, I'm happy to answer. So thank you very much, guys, for your patientful listening. And I will take your queries also in between, and we'll address those queries. Thanks once again for your patientful exercise.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. So the participants who have any question or any doubt can raise their hand. I'll provide mic to that particular participant.